It is box build time, and I mean the first box build I've done in a while, especially here at the house. The first one here at the house, so I've actually cut up two pieces right there. Pretty much I'll be able to get this whole box out of one big slab of 18mm, and I'll be using the table saw for the first time for a box. I just used it the other week when I built the rear shelf in the Corona, but I'll be using it now for a box. So anyway, we're going to start cutting it up. So what we're building for this time is two Sundown Audio SA-12's, the same two that I've used before. They're not mine anymore, they're actually my ex-colleagues, but I'm building my box anyway. So anyway, we're going to start cutting up. We're doing a cool curved port, and we're going to be coating it in like a bed liner. So here we have the beginnings of the box. So that's actually the base, side, and the back. There's a double baffle top going in just here. And then obviously the port itself, which will be curved, that will come up like this. So we've got the top of the enclosure there with the double baffle obviously sunken in, and that's all glued, nailed and clamped, and then yeah, we've got the rest there. So pretty much once that dries, I can attach that to this, work on the curved port, and then finally just put the other side on as the finishing piece. So the box is coming together. That is the top of the box, and obviously the bottom side, etc. You can roughly see where the port is going to go, but it'll be curved. This is the piece of wood here for the actual port. So this is the piece that sits in the box. This is obviously the kerfing. So kerfing is literally just, this is 18mm thick. I'm cutting through probably about 15mm, and as you can see, you're left with a little bit of wood, and that allows you to actually bend the wood. So anyway, they're cut about 1 centimetre apart, give or take 1 millimetre on a few of them, but that's that, and that will actually provide the curve. And then I overcut it when I made it, so now I've got to cut this piece off. Kind of skipped ahead a little here, just because I started putting it in and went, shit, glue's going to dry, I've got to get this in. So anyway, here's the port in. So that is the main kerf obviously, and I added a little piece here, for strength for mounting at the back, and also to give it a thicker piece right there, which is all rounded, comes around, curves. And then what I've done here is I've cut a 45. I'm going to sand it more and round it so it looks like it goes around in more of a circle. So I restocked up on some sandpaper and got this smoothed out the way I wanted it to be. So that's that. So the whole obviously point is that, you know, we're picturing airflow going up and around, because this is facing the back of the car. So I wanted to make that as smooth as possible. But anyway, that's that as is. And we see big curved port, which looks really cool. Love me curved ports. And obviously, yeah, two Sundown SA-12's going right in the top. This thing is bloody solid, and that's that. The reason it's this shape as well is it's going in a jackaroo as well, not mine, but someone else's. And next to it is like an esky and a spare battery, or not an esky, like a fridge and a battery and everything. So it needed to be this kind of shape so that he can still fit his stuff next to it. This is actually what I've sprayed my enclosure in with the 613's. So I've used the bully liner and the gun as well that I bought with it from Car Builders. This time for this enclosure, this is what the customer has given me, which is pretty much the same stuff. This one's probably not as heavy duty as the bully, because I opened it just before. This has got crushed up car tyres in it, and obviously paint. This is more paint and kind of like gritty sand. So it's still a hard like coating, but not as probably as hardcore as that. But you know, I've got 4 bottles of it here, and I'm probably honestly going to use 2 or 3 to get 4 coats on the box. But anyway, I've got more than enough. But I can use the same gun from Car Builders, so that's nice and easy. We're at 3 coats just now. This is still wet. I just finished that 3rd coat, and that's how she looks. So I've also sprayed all up in the port as well, and that's about it. So that's that. I've also sprayed up underneath as well. I did a 4th one, and obviously it's still wet. Just finished it, and she looks real good. So I did spray all through the port and then from the top side down in as well. Well, there's no perspex panels, so I'm not really worried. about any overspray in there either. Paint's dry now, and just doing the wiring. So I've just got 8 gauge in there now for the wiring, and it said it just comes through the other side, and then I just sealed it off on the inside. Subs are in, they're not mounted in yet, I haven't screwed them in, but they are wired. Now the reason I wire them at half ohm as well is, like a lot of subs, the coils might say dual 2 like these, but they might actually show 2.4, 2.5 ohm, meaning that they're actually higher than they say they are. So even though we're wired down to half, it's actually 0.9. So it's really only showing just under 1 ohm, which is perfect, because the amp that they're running on is a Sundown 2K, which is a 1 ohm rated amplifier. And because if I had wired these, let's say these were dual 4s, and I had wired them to 1 ohm, they might actually be showing 1.6, 1.7, which again is going to make a big difference on how much power the amp puts out. So these, although technically wired at half ohm, are actually showing 0.9 ohm. In the rear of the car, all wired up. So it's running off a Sundown SVC or SCV, whatever it is, 2K, and anyway, which is wired at technically half ohm, but it's showing about 0.9. So anyway, that's that. And there's like a spare battery as a secondary battery just there, and then there's going to be a fridge here, so hence the shape of the box. That's the roof.